Sometimes I feel like, is it really all worth it for people to attack you and judge you without even knowing what kind of pain or suffering you might be going through behind closed doors?
Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter actress Ashanti caught on camera pulling a girl's hair out.
Spiraling out of control.
Ashanti, what happened with the girl you pushed in the
Pushing her into the pool.
Up next, Ashanti pushes a fan in the pool because she wanted a picture. This girl is out of control.
Caught on camera pulling a girl's hair.
It's amazing to me that people don't even care about finding out the truth. They rather just run with the lie. Honestly, people need to just say less.
Pull up to the party. Jewels all on my body. Yo, chick on my body. They can't tell me nothing, no.
Like stop it, them bitches over there not popping.
Mr. Chairman,
Hey, we gon' order more
I want to thank you and the ranking member
tell me nothing, no.
like in my face,
and I
say
really mean
less.
that, Mr. Chairman. You have been, to me, one of the great mentors of mine in the Senate, but watching you here is the best of Durban, your best hits, I think, in trying to do this. And I will say to the guy you're smiling at right now, I don't know if I help you or hurt you when I say such nice things about you, sir, but you are a gentleman. I spent a lot of time in Iowa, and you exemplify Iowa nice, and I appreciate the way you've done it. This has been an interesting experience. I often think maybe we should be holding this hearing during December because, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you know about the vaunted holiday of Festivus, which is the holiday for the rest of us during the holidays. And one of the aspects of Festivus is the airing of grievances. And I think that we've had probably the best Festivus celebration here in this hearing over the last week or so, because there's been a lot of airing of grievances. Now, I'm one of these people that thinks that there's no false equivalency here, that the grievances that I've seen since I've been here, from the ridiculousness of Merrick Garland and when he was nominated, not even having a hearing, not even meeting with him, or even some of the language. I recently looked at one of the quotes from one of the people on this committee on the Republican side who talked about if Hillary Clinton won, we should just leave any Supreme Court vacancies if the Republicans control the court. But I'm also self-interrogate enough to know that I shouldn't just sit here and air my grievances and listen to their grievances. And that's why I'm really appreciative of Ben Sass, Senator Sass, and I think the Oxford English Dictionary is now a new word for next year, jackassery. I want to thank Tom Tillis. I don't, again, agree with his equivalencies on everything, but I see an earnest person trying to figure out how we can make sense of this place and return more to patriotism, less towards partisanship. And I've listened to every time he spoke. He's made appeals to those higher angels, and I'm grateful for that. I really do worry about where we are spiraling towards. I worry about hearings like this, where the majority of people on both sides, I think, were well within the zone, but I heard things that were just ridiculous and painful and hurtful. And I do worry, and I hope that maybe when the cameras are off and some of us can get together and talk about how do we repair and how do we heal. I have not resigned myself to the inevitability of this is where the United States Senate is going. And the collateral damage to this, and it's not all us, I think the Supreme Court has done enough damage to itself with its lax ethics rules, but the legitimacy of the court has sunk pretty dramatically over the last years, and I think a lot of it is because of the spectacle that we've seen here and now, and that really concerns me. Look, I think it was I know it was President Lincoln who said, "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here," and I know that's from my words as well. This is a frustrating experience to see this happen, but I want to make a couple points and then shift to my final point. I think we do real damage to our own agendas here as elected leaders when we so vilify each other that we create these caricatures. I made the mistake in one Supreme Court hearing, and it was not intentional, but even when it came out of my mouth, in talking about a Supreme Court justice, I used the word evil. I did not intend to do it, and if context, I think, might save me. But how horrible it is to describe another human being with terms like I've heard here, evil. I remember my governor, who was a Republican, my friend, was running for president, and the right had so vilified Obama, had so dehumanized him, that when my governor and Obama hugged after a natural disaster, it was used in campaign commercials against my governor, and he dropped over 10 points because he did the sin of somebody that we had so vilified, so demonized, that human interaction, that a hug is such a violation of our tribe that it actually hurt them. I sometimes see some of my friends that might run for president on the other side. I think I might foil their campaigns by going around hugging them. Because that's where we've gotten in America right now. We've so vilified each other. And that's why I just want to address the absurdity of the vilification of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Even the rhetoric I've heard used here, I kept writing things down. Judge Jackson is not an extremist. She is not out of the judicial norm. I've heard language, I won't read through all the attacks on her that I've heard in this hearing today, not to mention the previous days. I'm sorry, who does the American public want to believe? A bunch of elected senators or the independent folks that are out there? To say she's an extremist on crime belies the fact that she has law enforcement group after law enforcement group supporting her. So if you want to say that she is an extremistly soft on crime, then you're saying that about the FOP, you're saying that about the IACP. Go through all the organizations. If I hear another person trying to wrap themselves in the obvious that all 22 of us find abhorrent sexual crimes and somehow want to glorify themselves to being, hey, I'm a prosecutor. Well, both people on both sides. I got my back full of prosecutors over here. And I see noble people that did the Lord's work of prosecuting these crimes as well. But here's the absurdity to say that somehow she is not strong against these cases. Again, these are just lies. A senator just said, I believe the guidelines are right. Well, obviously, Republican-appointed judges don't agree with him because the norm in many states is 70 to 80% of judges going before the guideline. And if that statement is correct, then why didn't you vote against every one of those Republican judges that was not following the guidelines, as most don't? You could try to create a straw man here, but it does not hold.
Look more drums.
has the last word on culture and on civilization. They do not know what we are capable of. They do not know what we are thinking. They are thinking in terms of dreadnoughts, battleships, airplanes, submarines. You know what we are thinking about? That is our own private business. Credit for being able to use our minds. And with people becoming conscious of themselves, determined to use their minds, you do not know to what extent they can go. Liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men. We love the white race, not for social fellowship, but for the common brotherhood of God intended we should live. What satisfaction can anyone get in being happy and see his brother wallowing in filth, dirt, and disease? How can you be happy living in luxury and your brother's living in disease? And then when you try to help the one out of the disease, the subtle culture talks about disloyalty. Black men of Carthage, black men of Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Alexandria gave the light of civilization to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth our hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt. The classes, nations, races have been quite for over 4 centuries. Whose merely born abuse, insult, humiliation, whose forbearance can only be compared to the prophet Job, has likewise lifted his bowed head and raised it up to God's skies and cried out, I am a man, and demand a man's chance and a man's treatment in this world. But I shall teach the black man, I shall teach the black man to see beauty in his own kind and stop bleaching his skin and otherwise looking like what he's not. In the days of slavery, race mixture, miscegenation had occurred because the African woman had no protection from the slave master. Therefore, there is no need today for black people to themselves freely continue a practice that smacks so much of slavery. Our critics say that the race problem will be solved through higher education, through better education, and black and white will come together. That day will never happen until Africa is redeemed. Because if those who like W.E.B. Du Bois believe that the race problem will be solved in America through higher education, they will walk between now and eternity and never see the problem solved. God made man Lord of his creation, gave him possession and ownership of the world. And you have been so darned lazy that you've allowed the other fellow to run away with the whole world, and now he's bluffing you and telling you that the world belongs to him and that you have no part in it. And you don't have to apologize to anybody for being black, because God Almighty knew exactly what he was doing when he made me black. If black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. Yes, you heard of Johnny Walker Red and black. Well, he had his adversities, but he's still going strong. Well, I intend with your help and God's grace to continue, because my work has only just begun. And future generations shall have in their hands the guide by which they shall know the sins of the 20th century. I know, and I know you too believe in time, but we shall wait patiently for 200 years if need be to face our enemies through our posterity. When my enemies are satisfied, in life I shall come back, or in death even to serve you as I served before. In life I shall be the same, in death I shall be a terror to the sons of then count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or a plague or a pestilence or as God would have me, then be assured that I shall never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you. Will I not go to hell 1,000,000 times for you? If I don't, my work will only just then begin. For I shall live in the physical or the spiritual to see the day of Africa's glory. When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black, and the green around me, for in the new life I shall rise up with God's strength and blessing to lead the millions up the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a world when there is storm. Look for you have great. I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own, to make ourselves free men. Our great scholars, having passed through the colleges, the universities, have thrown away the blessed record. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good for nothing. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you had better die. Can we do it? We can do it. We shall do it. We pray to God for vision and for leadership. And He has given us a universal vision. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to America. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to the West Indies, but a vision that said it must be a free and redeemed Africa. Christ the crucified, Christ the despised. We appeal to you for help, for succor, for leadership. When you endeavor to carry your burden up the heights of Calvary, when white men scorn you, when white men scorn you, when white men spot upon you, when white men pierce your side, or the which little one of us, that man in the name of Simon the Syrian, who took your cross and brought up the heights of Calvary. And now that we are bearing our burden as being so heavy, we just ask that you just help us all upon it. Oh yes, the cause is good and the cause is good. Surely we shall not turn back. Oh, till on, almighty shepherd, stay till on until the flag of the red, the black and the green is put upon the hills of Africa. Because the time has come for the black man to forget his hero worship of our race and to create an emulation of our race.
Everything
we step on the devil's head.
After the White House, including Lisa Terrell, Rima Jones,
Yeah, that's it.
Million Moore, Ben
Come on, make the
LaBelle,
devil mad.
and Andrew Bates. I am also particularly grateful for the awe-inspiring leadership of White House counsel Dana Remus. Of Paige Herwig, where's Paige? And Ron Klain. They led an extraordinarily talented team of White House staffers in the Herculean effort that was required to ensure that I was well prepared for the rigors of this process and in record time. Thank you all. Done my level best to stay in my lane and to reach a result that is consistent with my understanding of the law and with the obligation to rule independently without fear or favor. I am humbled and honored to continue in this fashion as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, working with brilliant colleagues, supporting and defending the Constitution, and steadfastly upholding the rule of law. But today, at this podium, my mission is far more modest. I'm simply here to give my heartfelt thanks to the categories of folks who are largely responsible for me being here at this moment. First, of course, there is my family. Mom and Dad, thank you, not only for traveling back here on what seems like a moment's notice, but for everything you've done and continue to do for me. My brother Kataj is here as well. You've always been an inspiration to me as a model of public service and bravery, and I thank you for that. I love you all very much.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs. I've made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life in stages with 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There's no one more important to me. Baby, can't you see through me? 'Cause we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. You taught me precious secrets of a true love, withholding nothing. You came out in front when I was hiding. Now I'm so much better, and if my words don't come together, listen to the melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding. I space or time. I love you for my life. You're a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember when we were together. We were alone, and I was singing this song to you. Where there's no space or time. I love you for my life. You're a friend of mine. And when my life is over,
it's a hole. How deep is the hole? Coming up missing. That's why they're on the milk cart. I never understood why they put their kids on the milk cart. What is up with that milk cart? Put the parents on whiskey bottles. Go find them. Because they're somewhere at a bar trying to forget they had kids. Give me another shot, Joe. Yeah, we found your ass. But 100 of them go to the woods. They're going to come up missing. They're nosy. Are they going to go in a cave? This is Egyptian. Look at the writing. Look at this. Something going to get them. They're coming up missing. White folks, when you go to the woods, take about 15 niggas with you. Get home safe. Because you can't lose niggas. God knows you tried. You can't even keep them out your neighborhood. You know you can't lose them. Especially if you owe them $20. White folks, I'm serious. Take about 15 niggas. Run off. Them niggas will run right behind you. Where you going? I came with you. I'm going home with you. Give me them goddamn car keys. Because you never picked up a paper. We always read about them. They go hiking, they come up missing, they take their boat out, they fly their planes. That don't happen to niggas. They go out in the snow. We don't get lost in the snow. Don't let it be a snowstorm. You got white friends, tie them down because they get crazy when it snows. Come on, Susie, get the baby, let's take a walk. They come up missing and they look like the snow and you can't find them. Niggas up in the snow, you can find us. Let them niggas are. Look. And they don't want to give us credit. Why don't white folks want to give us credit? They don't want to give niggas credit. We built the White House. We built that. We just working. The white folks got mad when they finished. Call it the White House. Niggas think they're doing something. Call it the goddamn White House. Don't you ever forget it. Yeah, you build it, nigga, but we're going to call it the White House. To make niggas mad. We built pyramids. Trust me, we built them. We built them so good, we forgot how we built them. Because they didn't want white folks stealing from us. How you build them, nigga? I forgot. And white folks want Cleopatra to be white so bad. They tell so many lies. Elizabeth Taylor, Claudette Colbert, that woman wasn't white. Oh, she was part Greek. You may have Greek blood in you. That don't make you fucking white. You're crazy. Because of what she did, that's why. If she'd have been a white woman, look, Cleopatra was black. If she'd been a white woman, that was during the white times. Look, the Romans, give them the credit. They ruled the world for 3,000 years. It took them 300 years for Rome to fall. Give credit where credit is due. And they were freaks. They ruled it in miniskirts. Give it up to them. And they were white. We give it up. But Cleopatra was black as in my goddamn shoe. Egypt's on the coast of Africa. It is not some small village in Sweden. Making up shit. They ought to stop that bullshit. Don't want us to have no credit. That bitch was black. All them cornrows and that makeup and that nigger gold. And them big titties and that little waist, that big ass nigger ass, bitch was built like a brick shit. That she wore them out. She went up into Rome, they'd never seen nothing like that. That black and that goddamn pretty. She seduced Rome. She entered Rome with all that shit. She seduced them. She was an arrogant black bitch. Shit, Caesar was like 90 or something, 10 minutes older than goddamn dirt. They didn't even think Caesar could still screw. Wasn't no Viagra and all that shit. They didn't even think he could still screw. She turned it out. Let him in that black forest, he couldn't handle it. Lick it, Caesar, lick it. Eat that salad, Caesar. The rest is history. Wanna hear that bullshit? Read the history books. She was arrogant. Caesar tried to give her a gift. She wouldn't accept it. When you can't give somebody a gift, that's a bad bitch. I have a gift. Could you possibly give me? I am the queen of Egypt that Egypt has not already given me. On your knees. That was a bad bitch. They don't want to hear it. See, but I'm talking about it now. The hush is coming over Jerusalem. Don't want to give us no credit. Oh, who built the pyramids, white people? Space people, pigeons. They start talking crazy when it comes to us, don't they? And white folks always make me.
Beat Elite is a plant-based pre-workout that quickly increases.
Let me read this real quick. Supporting the theory of Dr. King, associates deliberately moving him to a balcony room to facilitate the assassination. Leon Cohen testified that on the day of the assassination, he heard that Dr. King's room assignment at the Lorraine Motel had been changed by someone in the organization named Jesse Jackson. Cohen claimed to be a friend of the Lorraine's owner, Walter Bailey, testified that Bailey told him that Jesse Jackson called from Atlanta the day prior to King's arrival to change his interior courtyard room to an exposed balcony room, according to Cohen's account. Bailey adamantly was against the move for concerns of Dr. King's security because Dr. King had never been given a balcony room. He had also, when he went to hotels, he always insisted that he got an interior room with no access to a balcony. Now, it's amazing that they switched King's room from room 202 to 306 at the request of Jesse Jackson. Now, Ronnie Taylor Atkins, who worked at the motel, he said he was there when the call came through and went to Miss Bailey and said, we need to move King to room 306. And so the reason that Miss Bailey was at the switchboard, remember, she had suffered a stroke and she was unconscious. Right. And they said that the reason that she suffered that stroke was that when she heard those shots, she felt that she was responsible for moving King from 202 to 306. Now, I don't know why them niggas don't talk about that at these conventions they have.
Ain't gonna do it.
Or why they have these celebrations, but they don't talk about that.
Yes, sir.
But it's in this document here, in this 300-page document, that Jesse asked for the room change. Now, I don't know why y'all ain't asking him why he asked for the room change.
Right.
But according to the document, it's very clear on why he asked for the room change. And they said he asked for the room change because they needed King to have access to an outside balcony. Now, also, At 5:40 on April the 4th, the invaders, who were all from Chicago, were told they had to leave the motel. Now, if you look at that famous picture of King laying on the balcony, you can see, find the picture. Here's a picture of Jesse getting off the airplane. You know, see?
Take a good look.
Take a good look at the picture of Jesse getting off the airplane. Right there. Reading the Defender. And so he gets off the airplane. He's with Calvin Morris. And I don't know why Calvin Morris is there to meet him, but Calvin Morris was in charge of the Renewal Community, remember the Community Renewal Society? And Calvin Morris is still in Chicago. He's still here, but I don't know how Calvin Morris was called.
Maybe that wasn't his real job.
To meet Jesse at the airport. Well, here it is right here, this picture. So in the book Orders to Kill, William Peppers is the attorney who does a mock trial in 1988. And then from the new evidence of the mock trial in 1988, they asked for this reinvestigation where the trial takes place in 1999. Now, I don't even think it was a 54-day trial, Wally. It was 70 witnesses called to the stand. And in 54 minutes, the jury came back that the American government killed Martin King.
This was Mr. Pepper's mock trial in 1988.
1988, he had a mock trial. And from that mock trial, new evidence came up that was not presented in 68. And from the 1988 mock trial, he gave that information to Coretta Scott. Coretta Scott took the information and asked for a reopen the reinvestigation. In 1999, they had a trial, and in those findings of 70 witnesses, a 54-day trial, they came back within 54 minutes and said the American government conspired to kill Martin King. I mean, I don't hear nobody talking about that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so, and then, you know, even in this document here, it talks about James L. Ray breaking out of a jail in Peoria in 67. So how the hell did he break out of a jail?
Unheard of.
But what this document also says is that James L. Ray had a facelift. And so the James L. Ray that they were looking for wasn't the James L. Ray that they would have noted, that they would have recognized.
Right.
So who breaks out of jail and in Peoria and gets a facelift and ends up in Memphis, or alleged end up in Memphis? They said he never went to Memphis.
Right.
So anyway, this document says that he broke out of jail. Now mind you, he was robbed in stores like Ben Franklin, and he was he was like a little petty thief. He wanted to say, "It's a stick up, give me your money," in the Ben Franklin stores and in Walgreens and little stores like that.
Right.
He would go in, and he was known as a petty thief. And this is all in the 300-page document that talks about his life and where he actually came from, and all that other stuff that goes along with it. Now, it also says here that during the trial, evidence suggested that Jerry Williams, a former Memphis police officer, one of the African-American officers who provided security for King, testified that King had never stayed overnight at the Lorraine Motel because of security reasons. Reverend James Lawson, associate Dr. King, also testified that King stayed at white hotels rather than patronize African Americans, but because they would not let King in the Holiday Inn on April the 3rd, he was forced to go to the Lorraine Motel. It's all in here. It's all. I think this thing may be worth something by now, Wally. This 300-page document
of truth. It is amazing to have that body of facts, evidence, and it's never talked about.
The same way they did with the,
not even among white people.
You come in, you close, and you be like, Well, what's your income? I make $400,000 a year. Well, where's the proof? It's stated income. You ain't got to prove it.
That's right.
And you walk out of there.
That's the word stated.
And be like, stated income. And so they didn't even, so everybody, somebody should have known, particularly these damn prophets in the pulpit, that this shit was gonna happen. Since y'all prophesizing all the damn time. So anyway, Wally, check this out. According to SP Global Ratings, auto lenders verified only 7% of the loans that they went back and checked. 7%.
I'd like to know who that 7%.
7%. But Wally, check this out. 93%, they just take them and say, okay, it's true. They only went back to check on 7% of them. So they go and say that the share of the delinquent loans, soon after they are rising, subprime loans charge you 18 to 24% interest, says the signal can be fraud, right? So U.S. consumers, $1.3 trillion in debt as of November in America, $1.3 trillion. Now last year, they were only $740 billion in debt. So these loan companies have loaned out $1.3 trillion to people that they know couldn't afford the cars. And so buyers visit a dealership, Wally. They disclose their income to a salesperson. The employee goes into the finance office. The dealership electronically sends the loan application to the bank. The credit unions and the finance arms of the car manufacturers decide whether to fund the loans, because I was talking to a guy earlier, and he said it goes out to about 10 or 12 different finance companies that when they send your application out. And so the loan problems start when the borrowers make a bad decision on stuff they knew that they couldn't afford. But the problem is the car dealer knew that they couldn't afford it. So they're going to say, so dealerships, they rush the borrowers through a process, and they, see signs of everybody drives, bad credit, no credit, whatever you got. You're going to come in there, and I know for a fact some Negroes got a credit score of 300 riding around in new cars. I'm like, how the hell does this nigga get a car? What? I mean, he said, man, all you got to do is go up in there, man. My finance guy, he done sold you an interest rate and a car. That's what he sold you. He didn't sell you a car, he sold you interest rate. So then they go and say that they only show a partial copy of the application. Sometimes the dealers will fill out one application with correct information and put that in the drawer, and then when the buyer leaves, they will fill out an incorrect one and send that to the lenders. So according to Ms. Lopez, who makes $660 a month on SSI, her car payment was $809, said the dealership told her that she can come back in a couple of months, Patrick, and refinance at a lower rate. That's what they told her.
That was the bait on the hook.
Don't worry about it right now. You got 24%, your car note $809, make 2 or 3 good payments. We're gonna make it down, we're gonna take it down to $500. So the dealerships make more money arranging the financing. So than selling vehicles. Now check this out. They make more money, TC, on the interest of the car than they make on the car itself. I mean, wow. They make more money because guess what? It's up to the finance company to repo it, not me. You financed it. I got my money.
It's your car now.
It's your car.
The dealer gets his money right away.
So if the loan goes bad,
that's right, it's not on him.
The dealership is not on the hook.
That's right.
So when the borrower defaults, the lender can repossess the car and try to resell it. Often though, that is enough to cover the borrower's unpaid balance, and the lender can write off the loss and send the borrower into collections, Brother Wally. The National Auto Traders Association trade group said lenders can make dealers buy back a loan if they can prove the dealer committed fraud. Well, that's all of them. So the Consumer Protection Program.
Wait. The lender can't have the car dealer go to jail for fraud?
They said he can make the dealer
That's
buy
what
the
I'm
loan
saying, brother.
back.
So
if they can prove he no, ain't nobody when you just last seen the car dealer go to jail.
So wait a minute. I can commit fraud
Exactly.
and I ain't looking at no
And
jail
I ain't
time.
looking at no jail time.
All I gotta do is buy the car back.
That's all you got to do.
If you can prove it.
The Federal Trade Commission
said
dealerships around the country are making up car buyer incomes, according to the Attorney General. So it goes on to say that General Motors, AmeriCredit arm, this is them. Now you ain't gonna too much lie to them. They verify as much as 70% of the loans. So when you go to them, they gonna double check, triple check, and make sure you are who you say you are.
General Motors.
General Motors. But those finance companies, subprime finance companies, they only verify between 1% and 7%. Now, so the auto financing arm of CarMax, which is Ally Financial, guess how many they find? Guess how many they verify? Of the millions of loans they write, 1%.
So you sending everybody to CarMax?
1%.
Hey, Mike, how are you, sir?
Mike, how you doing, brother?
I have Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Red there?
No, we got Tom today. We got Tom.
We got Tom Collins here. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, anytime. Hey, but anyway, what I want to talk about this Eddie Johnson situation. You know, the workplace is a meeting place, sort of like a meeting place. You know what I mean? You know, it's like boy meets girl. Human nature. You know, like high school, you go to school, you see a girl you like, you talk to her. But the job is you got people in authority. Now, I meet you, I like you, I can make the job hard, or I can make the job easy. It all depends, you know. So the woman, you know, she want her job to be easy, so she gonna do probably more than likely she gonna do what he want her to do. You know, I'm gonna make overtime, and I ain't got to work hard, and you know. But when things don't go right, oh well, they forced me to do this. You know, I had to do this in order to keep my job. You know, so you know, that's the way those things work sometimes. You know, I used to work for the city, and I worked up under TC's guy. I worked up under Leroy O'Shield. He was over safety and security out at O'Hare. Now, O'Shield stayed across the street in the hotel. It was during supposed to have been a crisis at O'Hare where terrorists were supposed to have been hijacking flights and things of that nature. So he called himself stand across the street in the O'Hare Hilton. In case anything goes off, you know, he'll be right there. This was his thing. But he had the white girl running across the street to the hotel, Cheryl Gillespie. She was running over to the hotel. Well, matter of fact, she stopped by my post one day and said, I'm on my way across the street to the hotel. Well, she got a promotion shortly after that. You know, she was just a security guard, but shortly after that, she was a sergeant. You know, and so those type of things happen. You know what I mean? You know, I can make this job good for you, or I can make it bad for you. And then when things don't go right, they say, well, I had to do it. You know, I had to do those things. You know, every job I done had, just about. You know, women would do favors, you know, for men. Just, you know, pretty much, not all jobs I had, but most jobs I had. You know, I saw those type of situations, you know. So those things happen, you know. So, but that's just my comment. You know, I just wanted to.
Thank you.
That's been going on since the Illinois bill breakup.
Hello?
You know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Hello, D.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say one other thing. It's still Mike.
Okay,
You know, the saying goes, you don't get your honey where you make your money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
No, you don't get your meat from where you get your bread from.
I want to understand.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. Hi.
You know what? I want to say something real quick.
Do it.
You know, we forgot because our memory is nothing. that we had a whole bunch of black women in here just a
Yep.
couple of days ago
I was gonna say
talking
that.
about the pain
Yes, sir.
of being molested as children.
That's right.
This crap is nothing but a continuation of
That's
that,
all it is, bro.
which evolved from us imitating our tormentors when we were chattel slaves. We watched them abuse our women. We was too cowardly to die trying to protect them. We allowed this to happen. But you know what? If you want to see what happened at CPD on 35th in Michigan, why don't you go to your sacred halls of Congress? Why don't you go downtown to your office buildings? The same crap is happening every day. Women are abused every day.
Man, Lou,
You can't blame a woman for her being abused. Are you insane?
Right.
If that's your baby girl and somebody's messing with her like that, let me see you justify that then.
You know, I was in a meeting earlier, and it was all guys in the room and one lady, and the lady started talking about rape among black women, and she said that when her mother remarried, she had two sisters and her, and he
Raped the sister.
raped them.
Really?
And she basically said that she couldn't get past it, Patrick, because her and her sister couldn't get past it because her mother told them, "Stop lying on my husband."
Yeah.
And she said that, for them to get past it, all these years, 40 or 50 years later, she said that you never really get over it because her mother needed to repent on what happened to her daughters. And she said that they struggled with it for years and eventually the mother died. She said, but right now, today, she still struggles with the fact that her mother told them, "Stop lying on my husband."
And she probably take it to
And
her
she
grave
didn't
with her.
believe her own babies.
Yeah.
That was saying, "This what dude is coming in the room at night doing."
Yeah.
And she probably knew. Man, ain't no way in the world
She
you
knew.
don't know.
She knew.
And so, like Wally said, them sisters and Sister Delise is going to put together a forum for women.
Good, Harold.
And in that forum for women, they want to deal with the rape issue, Wally, because they said that it's very difficult to get past it. Like the one sister from Kankakee said that her mother said, "Bitch, you done effed up."
You messed up my marriage.
And so for those sisters to have to go through that pain, and this lady was in the meeting, to talk about something that happened 50 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And her thing was, there was no wall of protection. Even to the fact that
In my previous discussions with service members and particularly officers, I would hear about complaints over parts not arriving on time, long deployments, and in my more recent discussions with those officers, the number one issue that they raised to me with concern, often unable to speak publicly for fear of the type of retribution that Lieutenant Colonel Lohmeyer faced, they say that your stand down regarding extremism did not help our military, it hurt the military. And I want to share with you that perspective, that it caused service members to otherize one another, it impaired group cohesion, and interesting to me is that I've heard those sentiments most frequently from units that are majority minority, that this was not particularly helpful. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to maybe share with us more specificity regarding the definitions that seem to be a challenge when Ms. Hartzler was asking questions. How should the Department of Defense think about critical race theory?
Could I make a comment, Secretary? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm very limited on my time, General Milley.
Well, I just want to make a comment. The feedback
I know, but
I've gotten
I've asked the question to Secretary Austin.
I don't know what the issue of critical race theory is and what the relevance here with the department. We do not teach critical race theory. We don't embrace critical race theory, and I think that's a spurious conversation. And so we are focused on extremist behaviors and not ideology.
Colossians 3:17. Who are we? We are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. And guess what? We got next. Right. But Mashiach Yahushua, who you ignorant call Jesus Christ, is a black man that's coming back to destroy the United Snakes of America for the destruction of the so-called Negro, West Indian, Hispanic, Native Americans, Argentinians, Chileans, Panamanians, Colombians, scattered from North, South, Central America. The Most High, the one you ignorant call God is Christ, is coming back for bloodshed and revenge to restore the nation of Israel. That's right. Get prepared for war, Negroes. That niggas better stand the hell up, man. They don't give a damn about you Negroes, man. But you want to love every damn body, man. And everybody hates your goddamn guts.
This how we banging on Esau. Prophesied scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends ain't holding hands with no Esau. Repent, it ain't a chance for no Esau. I stacked against Esau. Yahushua coming back to get Esau. If you a Jake, you better turn from old Esau. Repent, or you gon' burn with old Esau. I'm on the streets and my sword is out. Bringing the scriptures, I'm showing you what the Lord about. The time is now to repent and keep the commandments. We need to examine the reason why my people is damaged, deceitful, and evil. Towards another sister or brother, the life of a savage. That's the mind filled with the swine who think Christ was a faggot. Caesar Borgia on the cross, and if for that you shed a tear, then you lost. The black Messiah prophesied against Esau, spreading truth to all the lies against Esau. Israelites, 12 tribes against Esau. Hebrews, we on the rise against Esau. Kwam Yashala. This how we banging on Esau. Prophesied scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends ain't holding hands with no Esau. Repent, it ain't a chance for no Esau. I stacked against Esau. Yahushua coming back to get Esau. If you a Jake, you better turn from old Esau. Repent, or you gon' burn with old Esau. 28, that's the proof that we needed to show who we are today. The people you call Jesus is foe. We men of the Lord, and one thing that you heathen should know: when He return, we gon' even and scold. 200 million angels and chariots hover the earth, bringing destruction and redemption to a third of us that suffered the curse. Put us back in the Holy Land, that's right, we taking it back. The Israelites exterminating you rats. The black Messiah prophesied against Esau, spreading truth to all the lies against Esau. Israelites, 12 tribes against Esau. Hebrews, we on the rise against Esau. Judah! This how we banging on Esau. Prophesied scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends ain't holding hands with no Esau. Repent, it ain't a chance for no Esau. I stacked against Esau. Yahushua coming back back to get Esau. If you a Jake, you better turn from old Esau. Repent, or you gon' burn with old Esau.
These bastards claiming to be the people of God, the Bible prophesied the name of Israel shall no more be in remembrance. So how the hell you trying to claim to be an Israelite by saying you're an Israelite? The Bible prophesied they would lose their inheritance. You white people are a bunch of damn copycat phonies and liars. You want to be everybody on the planet Earth for who you are is a faggot in the dirt that the Bible speaks. That's what the hell you are.
This how we banging on Esau. Prophesy scriptures flaming on Esau. Friends ain't holding hands with no Esau. Repent, it ain't a chance for no Esau. I stacked against Esau. Yahweh Shai coming back to get Esau. If you a Jake, you better turn from old Esau. Repent, or you gon' burn with old Esau. AOI straight banging on Esau. I.F.E.N banging on Esau. HOI straight banging on Esau. LOI straight banging on Esau. AOC straight banging on Esau. IUIC banging on Esau. GOCC banging on Esau. GMS cat banging on Esau. House of David straight banging on Esau. Israelite straight banging on Esau. And any other camp out there I forgot to mention. Keep it strong, keep it live.
You are now listening to the hottest producer with the hottest beats on the net.
AOI, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai.
That's Colossians 3:17. Who are we?
AOI.
We are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. And guess what?
Yahweh.
We got next. Hamashiach Yahweh Shai is a black man that's coming on this earth to destroy.
Yahweh Shai coming, you ready? Hope you been keeping them commandments. Cause if not, it's gonna be deadly for you, cause he coming back to do some damage. Blood dripping from his sword. You think it's a joke if you wanna. But when them nukes hit, blowing you the bitch, all that's left is smoking aroma. Hey, your preacher ain't preaching at all. If he ain't preaching, teaching you the reason we be keeping them laws. Steady showing up on Sunday, singing, hollering, and dancing. Claiming you catching the Holy Ghost, but we ain't falling for that okie doke. Hey, snatch the preacher out the pulpit, sit him down, shut up with that bullshit. Money be the root of evil. Steady lying to his people, claiming to be holy but deceitful. Put this on the vine, loaded up to Vivo. Hey, Hosea 4:6 got you in the dark, think you seeing light. Ain't keeping no commandments, following the world, think you seeing Christ. Till he arrived, Romans 8:25, keep us in the fight. We soldiers on the street, sewing up the seed, leading you to life.
How you gonna speak against Hamashiach Yahweh Shai like he's the fable when you support and promote the same concept of a higher deity and that black people are the physical counterparts of the celestial beings here on earth? Who you fooling, Negro?
Orientation, behaviors is what we're focused on.
I would like to yield some of my time to General Milley because I know that he had some comments that he wanted to make when Representative Gates was talking, as well as Mr. Waltz, about a similar subject of the stand down and race theory. Would you like a minute or so to comment on that? Do you remember what your line of questioning or thought was there?